Hi, I'm Shantia Green here talking with E.J. Catagnus about his induction into the Hall of Fame. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. So how do you remember Norristown?
Well, the high school, I remember fondly. I really remember my experience coming up through the Norristown School District, and middle school being a significant moment in my life. And actually, I didn't realize how important that building block was at Stewart Middle School, especially with the one teacher specifically was Mr. Weiss, the gifted teacher, that he really gave me all of the tools in that middle school time to be successful later on. And a lot of them I didn't even realize I had until much later. Even now I'm accessing things that he had said or I'm using in the classroom and that I teach, and things that he had done. And Norristown just continued on what started in really at elementary school and built on to what I learned in middle school.
Nice. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1997.
Okay. What are you being honored for?
I'm being inducted into the Norristown Hall of Fame. Primarily, it's twofold. Most in the Hall of Fame, there's either the academic or industry or military side. I think that I'm being honored for both the military and the academic portion. So I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years, 8 years total, and I was an infantryman. I was a scout sniper, and I was wounded in Iraq in 15 November 2004, and was decorated for my time in Iraq. I'm also being honored for academics, so I'm an assistant professor of history and security studies at Valley Forge Military College. I'm finishing my doctorate, hopefully by spring. I have it completed at Temple University.
How did you react when you found out?
I was very shocked, to be honest. Being as young as I am, and I looked across, and I've always looked at the Hall of Fame since it started, and I always thought it would be really an honor to be a part of it. And then when I was up for review for the Hall of Fame, I was really honored and taken aback.
So what got you interested in the field that you are in now?
My grandfather was a retired Navy chief, a corpsman, and he worked with Marines during his time in the Navy. So I grew up in a military-esque household. And as I went through the education, I was always focused on history as well as science. So when I graduated high school, I was really kind of lost. I went to community college, to Montgomery County Community College, and I didn't fit there. So I decided to join the Marine Corps. And when I joined the Marine Corps, it allowed me to have the discipline, and it gave me an environment to change who I was. And because of the nature of what I did in the Marine Corps as an infantryman, and I was as a scout sniper, it was one of the hardest things to do within the Department of Defense, within all of the training, and that prepared me to go on to higher things. In 2002, when I first got out of the Marine Corps, I had decided that I had reached the pinnacle. There was no war going on. There was nothing there. So I needed to go to college. I got out. In 2003, a war kicked off. So I felt empty. And just so happened, I was going to Penn State, and I was pursuing a degree and I had the idea to get a doctorate in molecular biology. So I was pursuing a degree in life science. I was asked if I wanted to go back in the Marine Corps, and I volunteered to go back in as a combat replacement, a casualty replacement. In 2004, when I jumped at that chance because I knew I would actually get that chance to go and actually do what Marines do, what Marine infantrymen do, and fight. When I did jump at that, I was lucky, and I went to 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, and they were there before, during, and after the Second Battle of Fallujah in Al Anbar Province, and we engaged. It's actually 10 years. 10 years since we jumped off the line of departure in Fallujah. While I was there, because I was a scout sniper, I had access. I was put to many different hot spots all through the city. And so I was rolled in the stack, what's called cleared rooms and cleared houses with many of the infantry squads. And because of that, I had seen many things that I thought needed to be written down. And because we had learned these techniques through, we learned these techniques through really giving our blood, and many of the Marines died because we didn't know how to fight in a city as well as we did at the end of the campaign. So what I did was I collected my sniper section together, wrote down all of these observations that I had to document them for future generations of Marines, and I ended up getting it to my battalion commander, who then sent it, unbeknownst to me, all over. It ended up going all over the world. It's now part of Australian Army doctrine. It's part of the Marine Corps has changed the way it fights in cities because of this, what I wrote and my section wrote. That, my wife said to me when I came back, when I was transitioning out of the Marine Corps. Again, I had reached the pinnacle of my time in the Marine Corps. There's never going to be another Battle of Fallujah in my generation, so I had reached it, so I needed to do something different. I was heading back to Penn State, and she said that you need to get a doctorate in history. Well, I had almost completed my degree in life science, so I finished that as well as then pursued another degree in history. So in 3.5 years, I finished two degrees, a BA in history and a BS in biology or life science, with academic distinction. Because I had gone through and did 20-some credits a semester. And I decided to pursue the PhD in history, military history, applied to Temple University's military history programs, which is one of the best in the country. And I've been accepted. I was accepted. Now I went through the whole process and finishing my dissertation now. And so that's long way how I ended up being where I'm at Valley Forge Military College.
So what inspired you to keep doing the things that you did?
A sense of duty, I guess, a sense of responsibility. One thing that kept me from doing stupid things as a young person, and I did teach in Philadelphia for a short time. I taught in middle school and in high school, so I had an opportunity to re-engage students at the younger level, not just at the collegiate level. But when I looked at that, it was a sense of duty that I had to do things the right way, so it also kept me out of too much trouble when I was younger. And that drove me for what I had to do later on. And I'm still being pushed by that duty.
Okay. How do you feel Norristown has changed since you've been here?
Well, it's a lot more secure, I can tell you that. With trying to get into the building, I was pulling on all the doors, and they're all locked. So I was actually happy that it happened because they're taking the security seriously, and the cameras obviously all over. From what I see at Norristown, I see that that it's changed slightly. I think that there's the generation of teachers here. Some of the teachers went to high school with me, so I think that we have evolved in the how the instruction is taught in the classroom. So from what I see from the outside, I see that it's moving in the right direction. I'm not familiar with all of the things, but from what I see from outside and reading about it, I think it's doing well.
What was your most memorable moment?
In regards to what, in my life or in?
Being here.
Okay, being at Norristown. That's a good question. One of the, probably playing on the football team was my favorite time at Norristown. That and also being in Mr. Bud Elvidge's biochem class. That was actually that, and going to Wallops Island, Virginia, with the class my senior year. That was the highlight of my academic.
Nice. What does this award mean to you?
It means a lot. It's especially being as young as I am, it really does resonate with me, and that's again an added burden, I guess, that I have, if you will, of responsibility that I have to carry on and keep producing to maintain this level that the committee has granted me, the award committee has granted me. So it's very important to me.
Okay. Can you share some people you've helped get where they are today?
Well, that is one thing that I think as leaders, as I learned as a young leader, a leader is measured by not what they do, but what their subordinates or followers do. So if you look and you see all the great leaders in the world, we look and identify them, the Martin Luther King, the whoever you want to look. Well, we don't, how did they get there and how did they push them there? So were there some people that were instrumental in pushing them that way? So I look and I try to facilitate all of my students and all of the people all my Marines that were under me to really slingshot them forward and well beyond whatever I could do, because that's my job as a leader.
Okay. Are there any people that you want to thank for their support?
Oh, my wife and my children.
Sweet. How are you still connected to Norristown?
Well, at Valley Forge Military College, one thing that I've pushed for and that I'm trying to do as a creator of their security studies program, and also being a founding director of soon stood up the Center for the Advancement of Security Studies. One of the things that I would like to do is to see a connection between Valley Forge Military College and Norristown High for some of the graduates to come to the college, because it is a great opportunity. It's local. It could be a part of the Corps. They don't have to be a part of the Corps of Cadets, but it's something that I think that really that Norristown students would appreciate, something that probably would have helped me when I was younger, before when I first got out of high school.
Okay. What are your plans for the future?
Hopefully have my doctorate in the spring, and then to finish my first book project and continue on writing and engaging and trying to change certain things in the department, the way that the Department of Defense, and as well as national strategy and the implications of some of the strategic posturing that is put in place.
Okay. What would you tell the students today about the importance of education?
One of the things growing up, and I think it came in my generation, is that you have to get educated, you have to get educated. Unfortunately, a lot of people in my generation, parents didn't support it. They said you have to get educated, but they didn't follow through with it. Now, my generation, I think, really does understand what that means to support their children, to push them through, and to not just say go to school, but embrace them while at school. So it is extremely important. But education is not just going to class and getting the grades. It's actually fully understanding. And when I teach my leadership courses and I teach some of the courses in history, I try to talk about this mindset that you're creating a leader's mind. And it's everything, even if you want to stay in history, or if you want to be in biology, or if you want to if you want to be a physicist, or if you want to be a business person, what happens is that by having this broad spectrum of courses and classes, it gives you this mindset that you can actually draw on to identify and solve problems that you don't even realize. Different methods and ways, algebraic methods that you actually go through. They're all when you're trying to solve problems. Much of problem identification and problem solving is algorithmic in nature, and if you did take the math to its full completion, it would actually teach you to think that way. And not using numbers, but you're actually going through a ordered set of instructions.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just I'd like to thank the committee in Norristown for allowing me to be honored in this.
Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm Shantia Green, here talking with E.J. Catagnus about his induction into the Hall of Fame. Now let's go to another inductee.